going on, YouTube? Uberman here. Wanted to make one more video discussing something that I really enjoy about this. Other than the whole fingerprint thing, I'm totally in love with this. Like, it's ridiculous. Wow, look at that focus, or lack thereof. Okay, so what I did is I switched from a Samsung Galaxy S5 to a 16 gig iPhone 6 Plus. It didn't take me long to figure out. In fact, it took me one day of loading up my music and just some regular stuff, apps and things onto it. I ran out of space, so I decided to sell it, and I went and got a 128 gig 6 Plus. I'll never use that much space. I mean, not ever, but I just wanted to make sure that since you don't have expandability as far as an external SD card that you can plug into it, I wanted to make sure that I had enough space. You know, if I was on a trip or something, and when I go on trips, I do tend to make a lot of videos, I record a lot of things. I just want to make sure I have enough room for it. So here's what I did, and this is what I noticed. I don't know if this is all Android devices because I've been a Samsung guy for quite some time, but with my Samsung Galaxy, all of them, I use Samsung Kies. It's KIES 3 is what I've been using lately with the S5 and the S4. I had to have a replacement device shipped once due to it was faulty. The phone itself was defective. So, you know, I did what every good user does before swapping out their device. I backed the whole thing up. Basically, Samsung Kies is like iTunes, but not at all. But it serves the same purpose. And you back up all of your apps and all of your data, all of your messages, phone logs, etc., contacts, and then when you get your new device, you plug it in, and theoretically, you put everything back. Well, it doesn't work that way. You see, Kies remembers the serial number to the device, and it will not put all of that information back on a device with a different serial number. You don't know how pissed off I was when I spent the time going through and backing up my phone, only to find out that now that it's backed up, I can't put my stuff back on it. All my applications had to be manually reinstalled, and this has happened before with Samsung Kies, and because of it, I made a separate backup. I actually went through and copied my pictures, I copied my music onto my desktop in a separate folder, just in case I had any issues with Samsung's Kies, which now my pictures got put back on, and my songs and that kind of stuff all went back on with no problem, but my main issue was my applications having to be manually installed one at a time. That is just, it's ridiculous. And I've had this issue with, I swear, from the Galaxy S3 all the way up so far. Now here's what I did with the iPhone, and this is another reason I just love this thing, and it's really why I wanted to share it with you guys. I'm not an iPhone fanboy, but I mean, I could see myself going that way fairly quickly. There's still a lot of things I think I would like to see worked on, but so this is the new device, and you know, here's the lightning cable somewhere, right? So it's pretty simple. You take your device, plug in the lightning cable. I go into iTunes, and it detects the new device, and it gives me an option. What do you want to do? Do you want to set this up as a new phone? Do you want to restore from a previous backup from iCloud? Or do you want to restore from a backup on iTunes? I choose restore from iTunes. It says connect your device. I connect the device. Anyway, I got that a little backwards. Okay, when I turned the phone on, it asked me what I want to do, and I said I wanted to restore from iTunes, and then it said, why is my focus going out? Sorry, guys. It's so crazy. Anyway, I hook the phone up, and it goes through its thing. It takes about 10 minutes, which, considering I have a lot of music and stuff that goes into here, and quite a few apps, 10 minutes is very respectable. I pull up, you know, when it's done, I pull my phone up, and I look at it, and everything, guys, the beautiful thing about it, everything is exactly the way I left it from my previous device. A phone that was completely different, And apparently this works backwards, forwards. You can take your iPhone 5, upgrade to a 6 Plus, and it just puts everything there. Everything is the way you left it. Your music, your photos, your apps, it's just like it's the same phone, except you got a new one. I love it. Now, maybe for all of you iPhone users that have been doing this for years, you're like, big deal. But for me, I'm starstruck. I mean, this was great. It was a great experience. I didn't have to go through and manually re-download all of my applications again. It just took everything that was on iTunes and it put it on my phone, and my phone was ready to use. Now, there's a couple things I still had to set up, but like my passwords and stuff on web pages, they were still there. A lot, most, not all, but the majority of my applications that were installed on my previous device had passwords and stuff saved in them. Most of them had the passwords on here too. I would have expected to have to go through and redo all of that again, but there were only a couple apps that I had to put my password in. It was a very convenient way of doing things. And really the only thing that I had to set up was the fingerprint scanner. I had to, redo the fingerprints. That's pretty much it. So I know I'm going on a little rant about this here, but for me, from an Android user, specifically Samsung, I mean, I don't know if the rest of Android devices are that way, but it has been my experience with everything Android that when you wipe out a phone or you get a new device, you end up, some things can be put back on, but like your applications primarily, you've got to go through one at a time and put them back on, and it's just a pain in the ass. So I wanted to make a video about how great I think it is that you can just plug your iPhone in and download all your apps. And I did want to comment on someone else's comment to my other video. They said that batteries on iPhones are really horrible and they're really crap, and I will agree with you on that for the most part. But I'm guessing you have not used an iPhone 6 Plus. I can't speak for the iPhone 6, but for the 6 Plus, guys, I'm a pretty hefty phone user. Use it for games. I do a lot with my device. I really do. I have yet to run this phone down in a day. I mean, seriously, I've gone through an entire day and this thing's still been sitting at 40 to 50%. I can fall asleep, forget to charge it. It'll still be sitting at the same 40-50% when I wake up. I mean, iPhone's got it. Okay, they finally did it. I understand that the older iPhones had issues and battery life, and he also mentioned, well, if the battery goes bad, you can't replace it. Well, you can. You absolutely can. I've been able to replace batteries in these things, I mean, all the way back to the iPhone 4, if I remember right. The iPhone 4 really wasn't that hard to change the battery, and the 4 and the 4S is pretty simple. And quite honestly, the 6 Plus isn't very difficult either. It's just got 2 screws on the bottom. You pry it apart. I've watched some videos on it. It's a lot easier to do. Granted, the batteries are glued in and all that, but it's really not that difficult. I mean, no, you can't just slide the back off and change it. It does take some effort, and you've got to be tech savvy to, be willing to go into your phone like that. But also, you've got a 1-year AppleCare warranty on it, and I mean, hell, guys, you've got insurance, right? I mean, surely almost everybody will have insurance on these things. If the battery dies out after AppleCare wears out, maybe it accidentally falls out your car window while you're driving, or you left it in the bathroom at a public restaurant. Who knows? Things happen. Get a brand new one with a brand new year of AppleCare warranty, and then your contract is up by the time the warranty wears out. I would never do that. Never. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. I just wanted to throw that out there and give some comments. As always, guys, take it easy. It's Saturday night. I got to get to work.